Kamida Sumina so. Every day you make free more. Or the music my poor man Sinabia. Or the new full fresh amano. I no kwana meto. I said no.
It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
Indeed. That aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss, cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not in, say. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the way. No screw ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir.
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
Yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
He's in.
Oh, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what it would do to you.
I'm leaving. Complete all tasks for today before leaving.
Where are you going, Zelda?
Don't worry about that. She has some issues to take care of, so she'll be leaving.
Say,
And 4 of you can finish the tasks. It's not that you are building a house or something.
say, try to understand us.
I've spoken. That should be all.
Bye, guys.
Is this what we are paying you for? How rude.
I don't think he did anything wrong by saying that, dear. You were late.
So why did he let Zelda off the hook?
Don't pretend like you don't know what happens. Is it the first time he's letting her go so easily?
You are taking her sides, right?
You know that's not true. It's obvious they are together.
Is that why she gets everything so easily?
Just focus on your work and do your part. You'll be fine.
I hope so.
Is the boss in? I need to leave as soon as possible.
I don't think she has heard.
Heard what?
Why are you asking me? Call the boss for more insights. Or
You know, right? She has always been his favorite. It's just surprising she hasn't heard yet.
Will you ladies put an end to that, please?
Zelda, the boss will be transferred to another branch soon. It's just a rumor, but seeing his office empty makes me feel this is true.
Just like you, I'm sure that hit Zelda pretty hard. Well, let's answer this important question. After getting a feel of Zelda's lifestyle and work ethics, do you think she can make things work with any boss? Or it's rather too late for her? It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
indeed, that aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss. Cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not in, say. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the way. No screw ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir,
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
Zin.
Well, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what it would do to you.
I'm leaving. Complete all tasks for today before leaving.
Where are you going, Zelda?
Don't worry about that. She has some issues to take care of, so she'll be leaving.
Say,
And 4 of you can finish the tasks. It's not that you are building a house or something.
Say, try to understand us.
I've spoken. That should be all.
Bye, guys.
Is this what we are paying you for? How rude.
I don't think he did anything wrong by saying that, dear. You were late.
So why did he let Zelda off the hook?
Don't pretend like you don't know what happens. Is it the first time he's letting her go so easily?
You are taking her sides, right?
You know that's not true. It's obvious they are together.
Is that why she gets everything so easily?
Just focus on your work and do your part. You'll be fine.
I hope so.
Is the boss in? I need to leave as soon as possible.
I don't think she has heard.
Heard what?
Why are you asking me? Call the boss for more insights. Or
you know, right? She has always been his favorite. It's just surprising she hasn't heard yet.
Will you ladies put an end to that, please?
Zelda, the boss will be transferred to another branch soon. It's just a rumor, but seeing his office empty makes me feel this is true.
Just like you, I'm sure that hit Zelda pretty hard. Well, let's answer this important question. After getting a feel of Zelda's lifestyle and work ethics, do you think she can make things work with any boss? Or it's rather too late for her? It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
indeed, that aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss. Cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not insane. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the way. No screw ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir,
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
Zin.
Oh, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what it will do to you.
I'm leaving. Complete all tasks for today before leaving.
Where are you going, Zelda?
Don't worry about that. She has some issues to take care of, so she'll be leaving.
Say,
And 4 of you can finish the tasks. It's not that you are building a house or something.
Say, try to understand us.
I've spoken. That should be all.
Bye, guys.
Is this what we are paying you for? How rude.
I don't think he did anything wrong by saying that, dear. You were late.
So why did he let Zelda off the hook?
Don't pretend like you don't know what happens. Is it the first time he's letting her go so easily?
You are taking her sides, right?
You know that's not true. It's obvious they are together.
Is that why she gets everything so easily?
Just focus on your work and do your part. You'll be fine.
I hope so.
Is the boss in? I need to leave as soon as possible.
I don't think she has heard.
Heard what?
Why are you asking me? Call the boss for more insights. Or
you know, right? She has always been his favorite. It's just surprising she hasn't heard yet.
Will you ladies put an end to that, please?
Zelda, the boss will be transferred to another branch soon. It's just a rumor, but seeing his office empty makes me feel this is true.
Just like you, I'm sure that hit Zelda pretty hard. Well, let's answer this important question. After getting a feel of Zelda's lifestyle and work ethics, do you think she can make things work with any boss? Or it's rather too late for her? It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
indeed, that aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss. Cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not in, say. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the work. No screw ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir,
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
Zin.
Oh, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what it would do to you.
I'm leaving. Complete all tasks for today before leaving.
Where are you going, Zelda?
Don't worry about that. She has some issues to take care of, so she'll be leaving.
Say,
And 4 of you can finish the tasks. It's not that you are building a house or something.
Say, try to understand us.
I've spoken. That should be all.
Bye, guys.
Is this what we are paying you for? How rude.
I don't think he did anything wrong by saying that, dear. You were late.
So why did he let Zelda off the hook?
Don't pretend like you don't know what happens. Is it the first time he's letting her go so easily?
You are taking her sides, right?
You know that's not true. It's obvious they are together.
Is that why she gets everything so easily?
Just focus on your work and do your part. You'll be fine.
I hope so.
Is the boss in? I need to leave as soon as possible.
I don't think she has heard.
Heard what?
Why are you asking me? Call the boss for more insights. Or
you know, right? She has always been his favorite. It's just surprising she hasn't heard yet.
Will you ladies put an end to that, please?
Zelda, the boss will be transferred to another branch soon. It's just a rumor, but seeing his office empty makes me feel this is true.
Just like you, I'm sure that hit Zelda pretty hard. Well, let's answer this important question. After getting a feel of Zelda's lifestyle and work ethics, do you think she can make things work with her new boss? Or it's rather too late for her? It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest stays on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
indeed, that aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss. Cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not in, say. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the work. No screw-ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir,
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
Is in?
Oh, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what he would do to you.
I'm leaving. Complete all tasks for today before leaving.
Where are you going, Zelda?
Don't worry about that. She has some issues to take care of, so she'll be leaving.
Say,
And 4 of you can finish the tasks. It's not that you are building a house or something.
Say, try to understand us.
I've spoken. That should be all.
Bye, guys.
Is this what we are paying you for? How rude.
I don't think he did anything wrong by saying that, dear. You were late.
So why did he let Zelda off the hook?
Don't pretend like you don't know what happens. Is it the first time he's letting her go so easily?
You are taking her sides, right?
You know that's not true. It's obvious they are together.
Is that why she gets everything so easily?
Just focus on your work and do your part. You'll be fine.
I hope so.
Is the boss in? I need to leave as soon as possible.
I don't think she has heard.
Heard what?
Why are you asking me? Call the boss for more insights. Or
you know, right? She has always been his favorite. It's just surprising she hasn't heard yet.
Will you ladies put an end to that, please?
Zelda, the boss will be transferred to another branch soon. It's just a rumor, but seeing his office empty makes me feel this is true.
Just like you, I'm sure that hit Zelda pretty hard. Well, let's answer this important question. After getting a feel of Zelda's lifestyle and work ethics, do you think she can make things work with any boss? Or it's rather too late for her? It's a wonder how feminism has come this far. Due to the act, there has been an increase in females working in the industry. But our interest is on Zelda, a beautiful lady in her 20s, loved by workers and boss. Some might say she's favored. Well, let's see.
Zelda, you are late.
Sorry, heavy traffic.
indeed, that aside, we've been given some practical work today. You should join us.
Right now? You mean now?
Yes, now.
There's something I have to do.
Why are you here then?
I can't join. I've got something to do.
It's alright, let's go.
Meet Zelda's boss. Cheerful, funny, and some might say too lenient.
Where is Vivian?
She's not in, say. I'm sure she'll walk in anytime soon.
What do you mean not in?
Sir, good morning.
Why are you late? Is this what you are paid for?
I'm sorry, sir. I had to wait a little longer for the bus. The driver had an issue.
Enough of the excuses. Just sit, focus on the work. No screw ups.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where is Zelda?
She's running late again, sir.
Again, I never asked for explanation.
But, sir,
Enough! Let her come and see me in my office when she comes.
yes, sir. Let me guess. Traffic again.
Wow. Is that a new style of greeting?
You expect us to do the greetings rather?
Anything that suits you.
The boss is in. He asked for you.
Zin.
Oh, stop smiling if I were you.
And why?
Vivi came in 2 hours before you and she didn't find it easy. I wonder just what he would do to you.
who have experience that you're going to work with. Maybe someone is here and is expecting that the moment I get to the field, I should be given a big position. It may not be like that. So how do you relate with your bosses? And there are some people too, when they go to the workplace, every time, sir, I wanted to check if you are here. Every day you're knocking on the door to greet the person. They may not take you serious. Bosses don't have time. And if you come before them and every day you are only coming to greet, they may not take your coming serious. Indeed, they may dread your coming. So how will you relate with them? Let your relationship with them be one, purposeful. If you are coming before someone who walks on the corridor of power, let your coming before them be purposeful. Why are you going there? It should have a focus. Now, if maybe it's not for work-related issues, then it should be a meaningful interaction. If maybe you are establishing relationship with a person, so once in a while you go and check on the person, that's a work-related issue. It's good. You are developing relationship at the workplace. But please, because I know that some of you, when you go to the workplace, indeed the job you get, some of you may get because of those who are there, the bosses there. But manage the relationship well. Let it be purposeful. Let it be meaningful. So that when they see you, they know you are a serious person. They'll be interested in helping you develop. Now, relationship with colleagues. You're not going to be an island. You're going to meet others there. Now you realize that a lot of people are getting jobs through their friends. So when you get there, your relationship with your friends matters. Again, then it comes to who you are. Get to find out who you are, then you know how to work with these, your colleagues. There are some of your colleagues who know people who are in the corridors of power. Be careful how you relate with them. And also you here. Because if you go to someone, let me use Prof. Kumi for instance, please permit me. If you go to Prof. Kumi, maybe you're free with him. So maybe you go there and then, Equia, she's not serious. Prof. Kumi may not have time to give Equia the time to come and explain herself, but you have damaged her. I hope I'm communicating. Good. So when you go to the workplace, please be careful in how you handle your colleagues, how you relate with them, and in relation with their bosses, so that you don't damage someone or you don't get damaged. Then, supposedly subordinates. Interestingly, I was discussing with someone, some people got jobs through people who are supposedly, quote-unquote, subordinates. Or some people there, they are connected to people in power. If you go there, there are some people who may not have degrees. So if you go there with your degree and you want to raise your shoulders, there may be issues. Rather, be respectful. Respect in this case will help you a lot in relating with both bosses and indeed bosses, colleagues, and subordinates. If you go to the workplace and you think maybe because someone is your subordinate, then you are rude, there will be issues. Respect for them will help. Then Prof. Kumi mentioned something. There are some people that you go to the workplace, there are some there who may want to develop relationships with you. I'm talking about intimate relationships. You've got to be careful. Because there are some of them who are interested in only taking advantage of the young ones who are coming up. And if you don't take care, then you become a casualty in the process. So if you're going there to the workplace and you are interested in developing an intimate relationship, weigh your options. Who is that person? Is the person married? Is the person interested in your well-being? Or is just for fun? So that you don't become someone's casualty. I hope we are communicating. Right. So these are some of the things that I think we should pay attention to: relationship with bosses, relationship with colleagues, and then relationship with supposedly subordinates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think, yes, the applause is necessary. Thank you. Lady Kati, let me come back to you. When Lady Peace was talking, she mentioned the fact that our visit to our bosses must be purposeful. Now, how would you see a subordinate or an employee who comes and is like, this one has done that, This one is not coming to work early. This one is doing that. This one is painting the person black. How do you see the reporter? Let me put it like that.
Thank you very much. I was just casting my mind back to some students that really come and they quite exhibit what she has just said. But honestly, I think with the exposure that you have today, we should be able to correct some of these behaviors. But in reality, it happens. But before I get to that point, I would like us to look at just something little about the ethics we spoke about earlier. You know, we defined ethics as the do's and don'ts of the organization, and at the same time, a situation that puts an organization in such a way that there has to be alternatives. And those alternatives you group as right and then wrongs. So in same way, when you come into the mining industry, I want to bring it down to our area of expectation. When you come into the mining industry, we have some ethical behaviors within the mine. And some of those ethical behaviors, which we usually see and feel and complain about, one of them is employment discrimination. Then we also have what we call workplace harassment. We have the supply and customer relationship. We have senior and subordinate relationship. We have employee behavior. And then we have the resources. So we'll go to the employee behavior. That is what I believe is going to suit the student that is coming. Then, if there is more time, we will probably look at the other ones. When you go to employee behavior, we talk about misuse of your position. What is making you to be able to go to the supervisor's office? I think Professor Kumi has already hinted us. People use relationship. I used to have a drink with the manager. I used to have a drink or a nice time with the supervisors when I was a student and they were picking me up and all that. So it is that relationship that is making you to probably be knocking at the door frequently. And honestly, it is something that you need to examine very well. It is good to have the networking, but if you are found always at the work time where you are supposed to be working in a plant or doing something meaningful, and you are always the one checking on your supervisor or your manager, then it means that ethically you are wrong. Do you understand? That is the reality. You may be thinking that I know this man, so going to say good morning, say how is your day, good luck, I heard you have a meeting, all the best and all that. You might be thinking that it's something good, and then you are doing something unique, and that should make him or her love you the more or like you and choose you over others. But the frequency, if you are able to go there based on your position, your relationship, it is ethically wrong. Then we have something that usually people don't consider. But one of them is not using company time rightly. Were you employed to be going to the manager's office to say good morning for the 8 hours that you are paid? You are going to be paid for a job. And we have HR partners or a session in HR that has gone through a lot of pain to write and examine jobs and come out with time that is required for a certain report to be generated, for how much the person has to be paid and all that. They end up employing you to work 8 hours. Now within that 8 hours, you are using some to be visiting other people in their offices. You are ethically wrong. You are abusing your position. We have the normal breaking of rules and regulations of the organization. You are supposed to be working in the laboratory. Why must we find you in the community affairs office? For what? Is that where you work? No. It is not break time. Even your break is a paid break, so that we can limit the time. So if you are found in places during the organizational working period, no matter what you are going there to do, you are ethically wrong. And we also have what we call conflicts and argument with other employees. If you keep going to other managers' office to be talking about, let's say myself, to the manager, then one way or the other, you are gradually spoiling the relationship between us. So you are forcing somebody to come into argument with you. He will begin to follow up and say, why did you go there and make the manager aware that I was not at work yesterday? Then the argument starts. It is ethically wrong. So for me, looking at the young ones coming out now, it is important for us to understand the organization's ethics very well. And I love it when Professor Kumi said, you want to go to Goldfields, but you don't read about Goldfields. You want to go and work at Car Bank. You have no knowledge. You have no clue. Then you will end up at the wrong place. So you need to understand the organization. And I will tell you a typical example. When I was coming for this program, ethically, I needed to fill a register for approval. I have what it takes to be here. I've been to school. I am in association with LiMAP, but then the company has rules. There is a code of ethics. So we should be ready to unlearn some of our behaviors and then relearn or learn the behaviors of the organizations that we are interested to work in. If we do that, then we'll be able to live a meaningful life, make positive impacts. And these days, I must be very honest with you that women have got a lot of advantages. Gone were the days that we were struggling to be inclusive and all that. These days, the policies in the industries or in most of the organizations are deliberately being made to encourage and even project women. But it doesn't also mean that they will project you when you are not profitable. We must get that right. So it is important for us to make a difference wherever we find ourselves. We should get that culture right. That Prof said it. He said a lot from his speech. He said if a man is doing 100% to be recognized, a woman will have to do more than 100% to be recognized. But that is debatable. Today, in some organizations, if it is 100% to be recognized, it is the same 100%. But it is the attitude of women that probably sometimes make us think that we are at 100, when in reality, we are not at 100. And one of those attitudes is always using the stethoscope. I mean, I have the right, I've given birth, I have 3 months pay, I have 3 months to have a maternity leave. After that, the organization agrees that I can take my annual leave. So if I've managed to have 60 days, it means I can add 2 months. Then I get 5 months. I have the right to take family responsibility leave, and that is about 2 weeks. I have the right to take a casual leave, and that is also about 2 to 3 weeks. So you have the right to stay off job for 6 months. Are you saying that in 6 months there wouldn't be promotion at the workplace? Should they promote you in your absence? Show your hands. It wouldn't happen. And that is why I always say that every individual going into the mine, if you want to be successful, have your strategy. When you need help, don't pretend. If you need to give somebody 40% of your salary to be able to take care of your home and meet the expectations of the man, just as Prof said, you need to do that at the time you are building the career. So when you come into the industry and by grace, by merit, you end up and you start getting monies and all that. If you honestly need to buy Toyota Corolla, please buy that. Don't think about the person who is using the 4x4, because there was a time, once upon the time, the person was using 40% of her money or his money to maintain the family or to do other things that he or she didn't have the time to do. The kids may grow, the husbands may get tired, they may become more busier than us, and they will not want the breakfast again. Prof wouldn't want the lunch again. Even he grows to a level that they tell him, don't eat supper. At that time, do you have a problem? We're just being honest with ourselves here. You see, so problems today may not become problem tomorrow. And that is where your strategy is important. So our strategies should work for us. And one of the panels said, you should know yourself. If you know yourself, then you'll be able to put up strategies that will help you to grow. And as a matter of fact, in the industry, if you don't know where you are going, you wouldn't even know when you are missing. You don't know where you are going. You've not had any career growth plans in your mind. So if for 5 years you've not decided to become a superintendent by then, you have not decided to be a unit manager by then, the system would not put you there. And it's a fact. So please, know where you want to be and understand your ethics of the organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think she needs a round of applause. The conversation is getting very interesting, but unfortunately we are limited by time. Thinking about or reading about where we want to be, let me ask Lady Vivi, how do we even launch ourselves into the job market in the first place? How do we do that?
Well, before you start your job, you should have some goals that you would want to achieve. In saying this, I'm talking about your career development. How do you start? You should have a plan. Even before then, what is career development? It is a lifelong process. Process of learning, process of unlearning, process of working. I personally have 4 things I always tell myself. To move to the next level, I need to explore. I need to engage. I need to experience things. And then with that, I'll be able to elevate myself to the next level. Exploring, what am I talking about? My young ladies, you are about starting your national service. For instance, if you go to the environmental department, for instance, they have different sections, and you would have to go through all the sections.
Sorry, Lady Vivi, sorry, let me cut you. Please,
okay.
I think our Vice Chancellor, he's a very busy man. Okay. He has another assignment, so he wants to address us so that he can leave.
Okay.
Please,
That's
so
okay.
when he finishes, then he can continue. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's not really an address as such, just to say that I'm happy to see all of you here. I wasn't expecting so many people because naturally you UMaT people, you are anti, so you don't attend programs. So to see all of you here is very impressive. I think you deserve to clap for yourself. And I'm hoping that you would always patronize such very important programs. What I've heard from the panel members happened to be very wonderful, and I'm impressed about the information that is being carried across. It is important that young people like you would avail yourselves for mentorship and also for coaching. Remember that I have a mentor and I also have coaches. So it is not out of place for people like you also to have mentors and coaches. Please learn as much as you can from such programs so that when you go out of here, you will really be prepared for the world of work. The good book says that when a king wanted people to enter into his service, he gave 3 conditions. The people should be beautiful. Their faces should be appealing, like the ladies I'm looking at this morning. But not only that, he said that they should be smart. They should be quick learners. And people who can address audiences when they are called upon to do so. If you get the story of Nebuchadnezzar and how he chose people to work in his kingdom, you appreciate that. You need some qualities to walk in the corridors of power. And therefore, if you are a lady and you are beautiful, it is good, but it's not enough. And beauty can change when time begins to perform signs and wonders on the face. And therefore, your beauty today may not be the beauty that is expected tomorrow. Sometimes I say that when you look at some of the pictures that I took when I was younger, I had nice curly hair. Even when I came here as a lecturer, people were wondering whether I was plaiting my hair. But today, look at me. So if that was my trump card, today I don't have it anymore. And it is these programs that will help you to prepare yourself for tomorrow. Please enjoy it and put in your effort to learn as much as possible. And take some of these wonderful people here as mentors and coaches. Kathy, I'm happy you are here. She's an old student, and now she's the only female metallurgical engineer in West Africa. So learn from people like that and develop yourself as you go along. Thank you very much. With that, I think the team will leave. Thank you.
Please give it up unto them. Please, for the sake of the visitors, we have a washroom up there, so you can see any of the ushers, or you can just go through that door on your left. Thank you. The panel discussion will continue.
Please, go on ahead.
So like I was saying, I will take myself as an example. I did my national service with Efiam Kwanta Regional Hospital. And we have several departments. I worked in a lab. There's main lab, public health, and then blood bank. We are supposed to move through all the labs. I did not pinpoint to say this is the only one I want. I'm talking about the exploring. Because if you don't explore, you might not even know what exactly you want to do. And so I moved through all the departments and working, what I told myself is, I need to work whether my superior is looking at me or not. At that moment, I have become part of the staff, though I'm a national service. If the hospital will progress, my input is also needed. And I didn't leave it there. Just exploring, going to the various departments is not enough. I realized that I needed to engage the people I'm working with. I did not look down on, at the time we had the Kufuor nurses, the 3-month training. There were people who were looking down on them. I went there with zero. What I'm trying to say is that I didn't know much. I go there and then I ask them, how do you do this? What do I need to do? If I feel I'm being underutilized, I go to my boss and tell, I feel I'm being underutilized. If you do this, you will learn more. And experiencing. From there, I didn't even complete my national service. I was in my national service and I applied to UMaT. During our days in the university, we usually don't send our assignments through emails and the likes. We always printed. And then if you have to do any presentation, it's this hard copy and the likes. But one thing I have realized I realized when I came to UMaT was there was a lot of things that needs to be sent through emails. So I told myself, and I knew what I wanted. I had the opportunity to have a contract at Efiam Kwanta, but I felt I didn't want that. I needed to learn something more. So when I came to UMaT, and I didn't know a lot of these things, I had to learn. Anywhere, my young women, when you find yourself in any organization doing your national service, see yourself as part of the staff. I'm not saying you should go and now behaving as though you are the boss, you are the supervisor. See yourself as someone whose contribution will move the organization forward. That is building your career. Learn from those around you. A lot of you, I ask students to send their assignments through email. You send an assignment without a subject. You just sent it. How do I even know what you want to talk about? Who will take you seriously? There are some people who can't even write a very simple thing without a lot of mistakes. One thing I know is that when you have such opportunity to write something and you are not too sure of it, you can give it to your colleagues to look at it for you. There is nothing wrong with it. Career development should be attached to what you want to do, your goal. I also tell myself that work as though you don't want any reward. When I started, before I even had the interview, I didn't know anything about geology. But I applied immediately. There's Google available to you. Use it. I learned and read something about geology, and I came for the interview. I was picked. Not because I was too good, but it was because of the way I communicate. There was one time a student was saying that some of us, the female lecturers, we don't have time for it, we don't listen to them, and that they are very confident. As soon as they talk, they feel the lecturers feel they have been disrespected. There is difference between communication and speaking to people. All these things help in your career development. I don't understand certain things. You see me coming to work at 6 a.m. just to be able to get what I need to do my work. But a lot of the time, young women don't want to go extra. You are supposed to start work at 8. Because it is 8 or nothing. Before, you will not do that. But with career development, there are so many. Sometimes you don't know the thing. but you have to deliver. You have to give yourself time. I was working in the lab, and I know I gave my all. I did whatever I have to do. Sometimes I'm in the petrological lab and there's nothing. You see me going to the geotech lab. That is exploring, experiencing. And I joined associations. You join associations, this thing too can help you. There are people there that you can ask questions. You can ask for help. I had some recommendation recently from someone I did not know. Apparently, we met at one conference, like one of the meetings here. And I was just talking, like my contributions. That was how the person recommended me. The person just met me there. This comes to branding as well. All this thing helps in your career development. You go to, as a national service person, how do people see you? How do you make people see you? I came to UMaT. Everybody can attest to the fact that though I was working in the lab, I have my way of dressing. Working in the mud or not, I have the way I dress. I have the way I talk to people. I'm very friendly with a lot of the seniors here, but I don't cross lines. That is career development. There's so many things that brings or comes together to develop your career. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So in effect, what we are saying is we enter the job with little or no knowledge at all. And it's on us to learn. If we really want to move to the top, we really need to learn.
Yes.
Prof, what are some of the key indicators to career development?
Okay. I will rewind to talk about something and then quickly look at the career development. And that is the emotional intelligence.
Oh, okay. You are taking us to the last. All right.
Because that will link up with.
Okay. So we do 2 in 1.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, as I indicated, it is a man's world. Don't get offended, because that is the reality. When my senior was talking, she was actually ahead of me. But when she was talking, she said it's debatable, but she ended up giving the same parameters for the reason why I said you need to double up. Double up, I'm not saying that the marking scheme is different. It's the same. But the enormous tax on you as a woman, that is why I use myself. That if you, I'm a typical Ghanaian. And so I am expecting my wife to cook, to wash, to do virtually everything. Whilst the only thing I get up to do is to go and look for money and come home. And so you can imagine, let me use Mrs. Boy and the husband. These are 2 people working in the same university. But I'm telling you, for her to become a professor, she must double up. Because she taught me, and I saw her, how the children were around her virtually in the office. And so you need to double up. And that brings me to this emotional intelligence. For me, it is the most important aspect of your work. Because as for the intelligence, you have it now. You have it, and you all have it. So this emotional intelligence bit is the most important thing. But I want to reverse it, not to give you 2. So that you will know that as you are going out, if you are not careful, you will quit. Because it is a man's world, and I'll link it up with the progression, you will stay at that level and never progress. Your ability to know you yourself, your own emotions. You should be able to detect your own emotions. You should be able to manage the emotions you have. And for you, the women, you switch. Even at the end of the month, you can switch. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. Your boyfriend alone, as the dean of students, the things are here. So I picked that also from your own experience. When the guy, just about 2 or 3 days ago, I received a call from a student that their relationship has turned sour and the lady has gotten a new man. And for that matter, the boys are going to perform a funeral for their friend. And the lady is crying because her name alone is going to be mentioned and be used as a flyer for the funeral of the man. So such a lady going to work, the boss, if you are unfortunate to have a man who doesn't understand these emotions, the man is expecting you to perform. How will you progress? And so the emotional part is very important. We may not have time to talk about it at length. I'm sure Prof. Amankwa had some, I couldn't attend, but there was a workshop like that for LiMAP where you discuss emotional intelligence. If it is recorded, just get it, because it is the new way of managing ourselves. So be aware there are some men who are not going to see how your mood switch, and they don't care. They are demanding results. There is an example. I know she wouldn't mind. I won't mention them, but once I started, she will know. You lose a loved one, and your boss is telling you to do some exercise. Completely off. Completely off. It means emotionally, you are not smart. A lady comes to work, she has had problems with the husband at home. You say, hey, that is none of our business. You have been employed to do this. And so I am saying that as you are going into that lion's den, the men, we are single tax. We use our brains. We are not too much emotion. We don't have that. But you are emotional. And so you are expecting us to read, to know that current, at the moment, the mood is not okay. So watch that. How do you progress? Very basic. Every workplace, they have the rules for promotion. Don't go there and join any gang group. There will be 3 categories of people at the workplace you are going. They are here in UMaT too. The first group, they will tell you that the system is not correct. They will tell you that everything in that workplace is wrong. The moment you identify with that group, note the level with which you were employed. That is the end of you. But those people, guess what? They are still there. The system is not good, but they are still there. There is a second group. They will tell you that those who are progressing, all right, they are part of the clique, the group of those at the top, your bosses. And so if you are not part of that group, you won't get promotion. And these people are always part of the first group. And then you have another group. They will tell you that follow the rules. Read the rules of engagement. Don't look left, don't look right, don't argue, just follow. But these first 2 groups will gag against this group and tell you that these people are bad people. If you follow them, they are the ones doing conconsa, and so you will be scared to get closer to them. And once you are scared to get closer to them, you don't know how they get their promotion, because all you are thinking is that they are doing conconsa for her to get to the top, and so you don't follow the rules. My dear, there is nothing wrong with following those who are succeeding. And so if you find yourself in any job environment, for your progression, first read the rules of engagement. If they say you must do 4 years before you go to the next level, don't go and say that I come to work early and I am not 4, but promote me. That is nonsense. Or don't assume that because you are a woman, like Prof said, you are beautiful. No, you must be smart in addition. So you must go to work on time, read the rules of engagement, and play according to those rules. And avoid the first two categories of people. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them, because if you do, you won't progress. You will be stagnant and you will become frustrated and you will join the first two. And all the time you will be talking. You will see everything wrong with what the big guys are saying. And most of the time, finally, these are the people who go foul to the rules of the system because they don't want to do anything. So, my dear, you must double up, read the rules, apply them, don't complain. When you get to the level where my senior has gotten to, and you have an ability to change the rule, you change it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. In fact, I wish we could go on and on and on and on, but unfortunately, our time is up. Any last word for our dear sisters? Lady Peace, let's start from you. Any last word so that we wrap up, and then take questions from our dear listeners.
Hello. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we are learning these things now. Some of us did not get to hear them. Lady Vivi, did you? We didn't hear this from the beginning when we started work. I'm glad you are hearing it today. So you are well armed for the world of work. But one key thing that I would like to stress is learning. Yes, we've talked about it. But learning will take you places. Now, let's structure it. When you get to the place of work, first get to know what you are supposed to do, establish yourself in it, then you can progress from there. But how do you do it? I was talking with some of your colleagues, and I said, you can set targets like every week, I should learn something new about the work I do. Every week. If you set a target, for instance, that every week I'll learn one thing about the job I am supposed to do. Let's calculate in a year. There are 53 weeks in a year, if I'm right. Then in a year, you would have learned at least 53 things about your job. That's how you progress. About life, you can set a similar target. I need to learn this about life. In fact, the YouTube, online, Google, they are loaded with information for you. Now, how do you use it? That is setting targets. At least one thing a week for job, for life. One thing a week. In a year, you would attest to the fact that you have learned a lot and you are progressing. That's how you get it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from Lady Vivi. Your last words to them.
Okay.
Your last words.
Yes. I want to stress on emotional intelligence like Prof mentioned. It is very, very important. How do you manage your own emotions and that of other people around you? There are people who will not, for instance, someone shouts at you. How do you react? It is very important. There was one of my colleagues that did something to me. Immediately, I know if I react, probably I would now become the person who is wrong. So I told the person to leave. The following day, I didn't see the person. That was Friday. The whole weekend, I just couldn't sleep over it. Monday, I was at work very early so that I can go to his office and tell him this and this is what I didn't like. We are colleagues. We will continue to be colleagues. If you don't manage certain things very well, you might end up not being able to work with those people. So we have to find out how we'll be able to manage our own emotions and that of others. You don't have control over what others do, but you have control over what you or how you can react. And then the relationships too, we have to understand it very well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's hear from Prof. Your last words, please.
Okay. My last word is that take this very seriously. At least I can. Are you recording? Good. So probably you can mirror it small to make it light so that they can have access to it and watch on their phone. If LiMAP has a platform to share this video and read more, any environment you want to go to work, there are ethical considerations. In UMaT, for example, we have, but you see, there are a lot of people who will not obey. And I will give you one so you can laugh with it. Do you know that in UMaT, we have code of ethics for lecturers, that you cannot change your timetable after the final timetable comes out? You can't change it, but if you want to change, you have to write a letter to your dean to state reasons why it must change. Yet, we are changing left, center, right. And so read the ethics of the game. And once you are able to do that, read advertisement. You want to be a mine manager. What are the requirements for being a mine manager? There are steps you need to follow. You must start reading now. Now that you are finishing your final exams, once we come back, you have some grace period in the house. Read about the job market you want to get into. Take a mentor. If you are in minerals, right after the program, Madam is here. Don't wait until you need job. Establish the relationship now. You may even be in the same church with some of them, mosque, some association. Establish those relationships now. And take your time to understand your own emotions. How do you react to situations? How will you expect others to react to you? So that you'll be an excellent employee when you step out. Because if you do well, I'll be proud that you came to a school where I was a teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Lady Mami, let's hear from you. Your
All
last
right.
words.
So I'll just say that as you're going out, you should know that we are social beings. And so wherever you will get to, you will need people to do that. You need to build good relationships. And building good relationships, you have to be respectful. Because in your places of work, especially when you end up in a governmental organization, you realize that most of the seniors there, some of them may have HNDs, so your degree is quite higher than them. Now you may be forced to sort of look down on them, but please don't. Because for you to go ahead, you will need people. You may not end up there, you may not end up being employed there, but the relationships you build with them will go a lifetime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Lady Kathy, your very last words to them.
Thank you very much. My last words is, I think first of all, for all our final year students, especially the ladies, have that confidence that you have what it takes to be in the industry. Confidence is very important, and be ready to learn. We've had situations where people come or students come and they think they need to learn only from the supervisors because they are future supervisors. The reality is that you should be able to do what you want to supervise, so that when something goes wrong, you'll be able to identify it. You might not have the everyday experience to correct yourself before somebody comes in to identify what actually went wrong, but you are technically competent by the training you've been given here. And some of us, we know what is here. Professor Kumi, just 2 years ago, was my lecturer when I started the PhD. So we can all learn from people. It doesn't matter that the person is a subordinate or is an operator. You're coming in as future supervisors, graduate trainees to be, and all that. But know that the people that have their hands on the job has the experience to transform you to the good leader that you intend to be. So please be ready to learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lady Kathy. With that last words, we draw the curtain on our discussion for today. We would hand you over to the MC to take questions from you so that our panel members can address them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please give it up to our panelists. They've really done well. Okay, so we would give room for questions so that they will address it. So we'll take 3 questions at a time. Okay, so please, panelists, you note down the 3 questions and you address them.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ifwa. Please, how do you come off as not rude and not agreeing to an intimate relationship between you and your boss or your supervisor? Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Lebanon. So I have a few questions, not just one. So to the manager from Goldfields, my questions to you are, first off, please, I want to ask, how do you assess whether your relationship is meaningful and purposeful with your bosses? Because you talked about, I think you addressed the point where someone reports and all that, but as national service personnel, we would have to deal with higher people. But we also need to know whether you are either overdoing it or that kind of thing. And then I also want to ask that, what's the best way to voice out problems or personal concerns that's in the organization and personally to your bosses? And then the last thing is, how do you deal with organizations that expect you to violate principles or general company values? So maybe you get to the top and then you have to take decisions that you know is not right, but then the company requires you to do that. How do you go about it? And to Councillor Sichofe, you spoke about I want to ask that, how do you adjust yourself, maybe with emotional intelligence, because it's something that was stressed on. How do you adjust yourself to the sudden changes in your workplaces? Because you know that you told us to know ourselves and we should work from there. We can work on how to move in the organization. But as maybe at this point in time, you think this is who I am, but changes occur in maybe your personal life and the organization. How do you quickly adjust yourself so that it doesn't interrupt your progress in the industry, since we are basically working with men and it has been stressed on that in the industry we always have to be quite better than or work harder than the men in the industry. And to the Madam Bai, please, you spoke about some few things. That's the explore, engage, experience, and then one other thing. But I want to ask you a question about the exploring part. So with our NSS posting, we are basically young adults that are moving out of our parents' wings and all that. Please, should in case I get posted or get a job somewhere that is way far away from home, and it turns out that I'm isolated, how do I deal with such isolation? Because it basically affects my mental health and sometimes can stress my performance in the industry. So that's my question to you. Thank you.
Please, I'm sure the questions are more than 3, so the panelists can answer this for us.
Thank you very much. I want to take one of the questions that was addressing relationship. How do I know whether I am abusing my relationship? Honestly, when it is wrong, it's wrong. And we need to understand that. And that is why we started the whole conversation with what the ethics are. So every organization, to assess yourself, or the organization will help you to assess yourself by using its code of what? Ethics. And these documentations are not hidden. When you come into the industry, you will definitely be exposed to what we call induction. After your medicals, that tells us the status of your health and all that. And that also determines your workplace, where we can place you. Then the next thing will be your induction. Videos are played. Question sheets are given to you for you to personally write. That is a form of engaging you to assess whether you really understand most of the things that were actually played to you in the video. Addition to what the training officers will verbally expose you to. So I believe knowing the rules, if you begin to deviate from the rules, you will definitely know that I am not supposed to be doing this. One of them is, for instance, we all know that people drink. And when you talk about drinking, it's not just about drinking water. You may be drinking water, somebody will also be drinking probably soft drinks, and then we also have the alcoholic beverages. Professor Kumi, I believe we have the right to drink alcohol in Ghana. Alcohol is not banned. Is it banned? So you have the right to drink it. But then in your organizational code of ethics, they might tell you, you don't have to drink to work. We are not saying don't drink. You can drink, but make sure you are not drinking to work. Or when you come, there should not be traces of alcohol in your bloodstream. Are we infringing on your right? Please, are we? Yes, that is why in defining the ethics, I didn't use what is moral because it's subjective. But the reality is that there are always rules and regulations. And even in a situation where you find it difficult to get the needed attention from your supervisor or from the organization, we have other international methods that we have put in place at the workplace, which we call whistleblowing. You have emails that you can send your concerns to, so that somebody will even address it without knowing who sent the emails. So the communication, effective communication, is actually encouraged between subordinates and then the top managers or within the industry. So be rest assured that the industry has gone through a lot of transformation these days. And one of the things that as young ladies we need to take advantage of is the fact that then gender diversity and inclusion is now one of the P1s in most of the industries. We need you, but we need you to be of good behavior. So please be assured that the systems are there to ensure that the right things, the right communications are encouraged in a situation where we need to even discipline people or subordinates to change their attitude. There are policies that allows us to do that. And one of them is negligence. I know I'm supposed to do this work, but for being lazy or for overlooking the advantage that we stand to gain as an industry against my own comfort, maybe I overlook it. And if you do that, and it is found that you were negligent on your job, we are permitted under the policies to seek disciplinary action, of which you are given a fair hearing. You can come with your witnesses, you can provide every evidence that shows that you were right, and then the person accusing you or the system will also let you know your lapses and all that. So please, don't be worried about the complainant part. I mean, when Professor Kumi was talking, he said it, that there are people who always say that everything in this organization is not correct. And it is true. And the people that complain so much about the same organization that is putting food on their table are really the group one that he spoke about. So be interested in getting to know the other groups, and you will find yourself growing professionally with all the needed support that you actually require. Thank you.
Okay. I would want to address the first question and the question directed to me. The first thing is, you asked how you would sound not rude. One thing I have realized is personal branding. When I was even doing my attachment, I have a big sister who is about 8 years older than me. So attachment, she made me dress like I was going to an office. I go there and the people think that I am a staff. My suit, I mean, that is how. And at the same time, because of the way I carry myself, when I have problems and I go to the boss to discuss those things with, they give me the ear, listen to me. And at the same time, I make sure I understand my role as an attachment person, or as a, oh, come and do this for me, oh, this. You don't do that. You have to know the line. I go to him and I need help. I will talk to him as my senior. Not because he's very friendly towards me. I get there and then start talking anyhow. No. Our president is friendly to all of us. I still can't go to her office and just start talking just because she's friendly to us. So we have to understand the line so we don't cross it. If you are being rude, you will know yourself.
No, I think the question was, the boss is after you. I mean, intimate relationship.
It still comes to the same thing.
How do you
branding
say no without sounding rude?
It's the same thing. If you brand yourself, I can give an example. When I started work here, I know how I carry myself. There was one person said, don't you know this man? I said, I've never heard. And I said, are you sure? Because that particular person, as young as you are, definitely he would have even started talking to you about those things. But he never, because of the way I carry myself. Depending on how you come to work, not trying to get favors. You know what you have to do for your boss. Oh, boss, oh, please, thank you. You go there and be professional. I don't think that if the person even tells you and you turn it down respectfully, the person will have any problem. It depends on how you communicate your intention. That is, it still boils down to emotional intelligence. How you will do it so that the boss does not feel bad, you also don't feel bad. That is it. Personal branding, I believe, is the answer to that.
Thank you very much.
She
mentioned another one. Okay.
Someone, I'm talking too much.
Because of time.
There's one question, it said exploring. One thing I know is, don't give yourself maybe thinking that this is the only place I want to have my national service. I was born and raised in Accra, but I did my national service in Takoradi. You just open up any place you find yourself. If you say you are just going to serve and serve well, I don't think you would have any problem. People have done national service, and now he has a company because he was posted to the north. Where he worked, he gathered some experiences, and he started with his company. So just have an open mind. When you are posted to those places, have an open mind, do your work. You might even gather some experiences from there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lady Vivi. I would like to add a bit to Lady Vivi's contribution with regards the first one, where you don't come out as rude. Lady Vivi has mentioned branding, and I think probably another word could be you set standards. Set standards from the beginning. Standards in dressing. Standards in what you can say and what cannot say. There are some jokes that the moment you start, the person knows where you are and knows that, okay, these are some of the things you agree with. So standards with language, standards with dressing, standards with time. There are some times, for instance, work closes at 5. If you are going to some, maybe a boss's office, probably after that, and it's a lee hour, is not, anything could happen there. So set the standards before, that's the before angle. Set standards in how you address such people. Then during the time, if the person is telling you, I'm interested in you, or is trying to harass you, there is this word we call assertiveness. I would encourage all of you to look it up right there and then, without mincing words. And some of you are saying no and you are smiling. If you are saying the no, you are smiling. Oh no, the person will not take you serious. So wear the serious face and say no. But if it has to do with harassment where it is ongoing and ongoing, there are company policies that address harassment and issues. So who are those who are at the workplace who address it? HR, in some of the companies, they address it. So you seek address or redress from them so that your issues are resolved. I hope that addresses it. Now, she directed a question on changes in life. You'd realize that even as you grow, you get to know things about yourself that you didn't know when you were younger. Then the ladies, even as we grow, you realize that there's even the menopause stage, and that's a new and different stage altogether. So you're going to change. There are things about you, even the learning you're going to engage yourself with over time, you realize that it brings about a change in your life. Now, bringing in the emotional intelligence, getting to know your emotions. Every lady here, it plays differently from one person to another. But even monthly, permit me to say, monthly, even with the menses, you have some issues with your emotions. One thing you need to learn is what? Mastery of that emotion. There are some people, even with your menses, sometimes monthly menses, the pains you experience. But will you go to the workplace and as a result of the pain you're experiencing, you are blasting everybody? No. So you have to learn to master your emotions. I think Lady Vivi mentioned an example where someone talked to her, she didn't like it, and had to meet the person the next day. That is delay. Sometimes you need to delay action. If you realize that right in the moment, if I act, things will go wrong, delay action. Think through before you take action. I hope we are communicating. It's very important. And then another thing, dimension to the emotional intelligence. Sometimes we need to time our appearances before our bosses. If your boss has just returned maybe from a place, a meeting, let the person sit, relax a while before you go in. You realize that when our invited guests came, we didn't just say, okay, these are the people we were waiting for, so let's start. While they were entering, we let them sit down. Let the person relax, and then you can go in. You don't know, maybe the meeting the person has gone to, there were fireworks there. Are we making sense together? Yes. So let the person relax, then you go and then you present your issues. Sometimes too, looking at the person's face, you realize that it's not the right time to make this discussion. Gently go away. Other times too, you need to stay there and face the fire. Attaining balance, it will help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you have answered the questions and left and removed every doubt. It's left with one. Okay.
Yes, there was one about how do you, I think two, I'll combine it. How do you voice out your concern and how do you deal with bad company practices that you are involved? For the concerns, just like those of you who are still students for the final years, they are exiting. In UMaT, when you pick the student, the conduct of undergraduate program and student guide, there is a procedure to voice out concerns. And I want to believe that in every organization that you will find yourself in, there will be a procedure to do that. Don't gossip. And when you intend to use that channel to voice out, remember, human beings are naturally vindictive. And I want to stress on that. Be careful as a young person. Once you decide that you are going to raise a concern, have the evidence. If you don't have, take your time, gather the evidence, be sure that when you hit it, you will succeed. Because most often, if it is about yourselves and you have a concern, it is not dangerous than when it is about the person next above you. And you raise a concern, you are unable to prove that, then you are locked in what I call a black box in the person's head. Sometimes even promotion, you may never get it. Opportunities may never come your way. So use the appropriate channels and raise their concerns. Bad company policies. If you are going out just like you are exiting in Readiness, there is no way I will work with a company that draws blood from babies. So once I do my research, I know this company, when you work with them, they will send you to go for blood. No matter the monies they are going to pay me, I will not do that. But the most difficult part is when you are not aware of it. You get into the job and they are asking you to do some bad stuff. A principle I will establish is that don't look at how much you are getting. Look at the emotions that you are going to carry through, because it's not part of your principle. There is no way you can, probably they say you should work in the plant. They use chemicals to process the mineral. So once they supply, then your boss will tell you that we will send the items back so that they will go and share the money. They don't really need the items, but they have requested for it. And it happens. It happens in the job market. There was a case somewhere in Bogoso which I got to know. They supply the items into the mine, and then they come back once it gets into the stores, and the user unit go for it. They now come back to pick the items back, and they share the money with the supplier. Now, assuming you are the conduit for such an exercise, and your conscience is killing you, and you cannot use the company channels to report. As I said, gather the facts, get evidence, hardcore evidence, and report. But if you don't have that, and you cannot also control your emotions, exit. It is the best way to have your peace of mind. If you can't do that, don't stay in and be pissing in. And that means that you are not a loyal person. Loyalty is very important. Don't stay in and destroy the whole company. Come out, and then if you want to wage war against the institution for the bad practices, then you can do that. So just follow the company procedure and report bad practices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Okay. So we'll take the last 3 questions because of time. The last 3. So I have one hand here, another. The last hand. Okay.
Okay, so I have 2 questions. One is about the underutilization. I had an attachment at a place, and then I was made to summarize a book. But when I went there, they asked me what I want to do there, and I told them that I want to get a much more practical experience on the field I went to. But then, in as much as the lady who was my boss knew about that, she still made me summarize a book. So with that, when you get a place where you are being underutilized, what do you have to do about that? How do you, even though they are aware that you want to do much more or learn much more, how do you address that? And then, with the emotions also, I'll use myself as an example. I'm a very highly emotional person here. So sometimes, I don't know if someone, I don't know how to put it, but then I don't know if it's the best thing to draw away from people who, emotionally hurt you. So as you are going to the working field, how do you know your emotions? I'm aware that I'm a highly emotional person, but then how do I go about dealing with my emotions out there? And I want to cite as an example also. I had a friend who was doing her national service in a company, and then she amongst there were 3 in all who were taken, and then it seemed like the bosses were more attracted to the 2 other ladies than her. But then it's not that she's not putting in the effort, she's not working, she's not doing what she's required of. So with that, how do you also address that? And yes, thank you.
Please give it up to her.
Thank you so much. I think it was a very insightful discussion. Mine is not necessarily a question, but it's a submission. I believe that even at normal circumstances, every individual should have personal ethics than thinking of entering into a company before you think of the company's ethics. This is because your first personal ethics is to go by the company you are entering's ethics. Your first ethics is to go by the company you are entering's ethics. This is because you want to work hard. You want to do your best to get to a particular target, or to get a particular level. So your first ethics, your first personal ethics, is to meet the ethics of the company. That's my first submission. And then the second one is, recently, I got to realize that we enter into troubles ourselves as ladies. We are our own causes of our own problems. We cause our problems. This is because I just realized that even some of us, the way we chat with our bosses, they are open. We would have their contacts. We would WhatsApp them early in the morning, good morning, say, how are you doing? Just as they said earlier on. And sometimes men are pushed, or men are attracted, we are attracted by men, sorry. So definitely a man would say you are beautiful. A man might be attracted to say, I love you. How do you respond to that? Initially, when someone tells me that, I would just either do ha ha ha, like laughing, and just leave it bare. But what do they think when you do that? I got to realize 3 days ago that those sending them an emoji, I love you, because you don't want to reply, you just send an emoji. It makes them think they can push further. It makes them think even if they try harder, they are going to get you. So be careful of the way, I would want us to be careful of the way we have our conversations on WhatsApp. We have our personal conversations with the people who are way ahead of us. Yes, be very careful. Don't assume you are playing cards to be sustained in the company. You are playing along just because you want your manager to help you get employed in the company. Don't assume it. If not, you'll be taken for a fool. I know most of us here have experienced this thing that I'm talking about. Most of us here are just trying to play along with what our managers want. We won't be specific. We are not bold because of what we intend to gain after us. So these are my 2 suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, I want to ask, how do we balance our life after school? Because our work is going to be demanding. So how do we balance the work relationship, our social life, our spiritual life, and other aspects? Then lastly, some of us, we would want to go into a company probably because of money. They are able to pay well. So when you find yourself in a company that's pay less, or even the money you get, how do you manage that little? How do you maximize on it? And how do you become content with what you have? Because a lot of people, problems is as a result of money. Oh, there is no money and all that. So how can we also find other opportunities and leverage on that and get more just to be content? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll give that to Prof to answer. But before Prof answers, I just want to say that if we spend our whole life chasing after money, a large slice of life will pass us by. Let's just put that at the back of our heads as we listen to the answer from Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much. The lady who asked first, I'll touch on that one briefly and then come to Madam's question. You see, you were asked to summarize a book, and probably you have interpreted that to mean underutilization. I am sorry, but that is a wrong perception. You see, for me, when I work with you on national service, and I use this same principle to get Mr. Boabin in the mathematics to be enrolled as a demonstrator for the department, and now he's a lecturer pursuing his PhD. Very smart young man. There were 4 in the department when I was the head of department, and we needed to pick one. And so this is the principle. There are 3 C's: competence, character, commitment. Competence is about the degree you have, the skills, both soft and the technical ones that you have. As you sit here exiting, you are all going to have first degree, and you're all going to be competent in one way or the other. But the next 2 C's are very important. Your character. What was your behavior when they gave you the book to read? You have no idea why that book was given to you to summarize. It's possible in that company, technical reports will be coming. Managers may not have time to read over 200, 600 pages. They need executive summary. And so probably your duty at that basic level is to read and summarize for a presentation for your immediate boss to go and take the shine. Young people, understand that. Understand that we do backroom work for our bosses to take the shine. Professor Grace sitting there, the documents she has to put together for the VC to take the shine, you have no idea of. But she must not come and complain and say, look, even what the VC is saying, I wrote it. You don't say that. She won't say, I am underutilized because I am the president of LiMAP. I have done this, I have done that. But look, I have been boxed into school of postgraduate when I can be the pro-vice chancellor of the university. No! So know that. Learn from humble beginnings. And that will catapult you to a level so that you can leverage on those experiences. I wish I was asked to summarize a book. You know why? Now I have to summarize document. I have to read. I have to make meaning. We have just been given an assignment. I'm on a committee with Prof. Grace. We've used a term. Now, academic board says, go back, change the term. How are we going to do that? If we begin to say that it is not our job, there is a technical communication, pass it on to them. Why are you asking us to change a term? No. So please, never say as a young person, once you find yourself in a job environment, that you are being underutilized. It is a learning process. Learn it and learn it well with your character and be committed to it and you succeed. Now, back to Ms. Benyakon's question. That was on, I didn't call. Yes, money. Life is not all about money. Prof. Grace and those of us teaching in UMaT, we won't be here. Because I'm sure in the course of the discussions, you have heard our salaries. How much we are taking. But there is something that is so important about us. Job satisfaction. Keep that in your head. Ask yourself, when you are 40 years, what do you want to see yourself doing and enjoy it? Even if the salary is so small. I love talking. I want to go to class and shout your boy. And that gives me satisfaction. But at the same time, I need money to survive. Learn to save. There is a principle, very simple principle. Apply it. I talked to some students about it. The 80-10-10. If you were saving 5 cedis a day since year 1, and for some of you, you won't get 5 cedis a day. But for some, 5 cedis is a chicken feed. 5 cedis a day in a month gives you 180 Ghana cedis also. So in 2 years, you have 3,600 Ghana cedis. In 4 years, you have 7,200. There is credit union here. How much do you have in your account now? So many of you don't like saving. Even if your parents are giving you allowances, you don't save. And as dean of student, I come across a lot of students, they have nothing. Not because their parents, we have those whose parents are hard up and they cannot afford. But there are those who have and have in Essex. They are the ones who even run out of money. And if you can't save now and control your expenditure, I tell you, when you finish school after national service and you start your first work, let me tell you what is going to happen to you. You will run short in the middle of the month. And guess what? You can't call anyone. Because you are working now. You can't call anyone. So for the ones who are yet to exit, learn to do the 80-10-10. 10% if you are a Christian, tithe. 10% savings. Spend the rest of the 80%. And never give anyone, if that person is even dying, your savings. Because most people don't pay themselves for working. And it goes for all of us who are employed. You've worked for 6 years. If you don't have the gross of 6 months' salary, you've missed the point. Then it means that for 6 years or 10 years, you don't have 10 months' salary sitting somewhere, you've missed the point. And you will be poor and continue to borrow for chop money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All too soon. There's another one. Okay.
I think she also asked about how to maybe running away from people that hurt you. If you are a sensitive person people that challenge you, it is possible that you will think they are hurting you. If you're a very sensitive person, for instance, if you're a sensitive person, maybe quiet, reserved, and you meet a boss who is outgoing and is freestyle, and the way he or she communicates, you may think the person is hurting you. So assess it. Assess the person to see if the person is really hurting you or is a way of challenging you to higher heights. Then, if you realize that over some time the hurting is going on, that is if you have ascertained that it is really hurting, then over some time, think it through, gather your thoughts, then you go and speak with the person you think is hurting you. Gather your thoughts well before you go. It's good to do that. Gather the thoughts, practice in secret, know what you're going to say before you say it, so you don't receive another round of blasting. I hope that's clear. And then the lady asked how we can do balance or use the money. Prof has mentioned savings. But young lady, a very simple way you can start is, you know how to do list? List. When you're going to the market, you write tomatoes, 5 cedis, this, that. Every month. If maybe before the money comes, Prof has given you a percentages, 10% savings, 10% tithe, the rest. Write down what you want to. Right now, you're going into the field, and from service, you're going to the field to work. You should start gathering some things now. So maybe in the first month, from the 80% that is left, you might want to buy saucepan. Ladies, are we communicating? You might want to buy little things. Write them down. And make sure that miscellaneous, you have that as well, to be backup for the rest, because the 10% savings, 10% tithe, you will not touch it. Is that okay? Listing will help you a lot. Thank you.
Just add something small. She was asking how you can make more money. As young people, you can learn certain things that can help. Me, for instance, we know now we are in the era of recaps. I don't buy it. It's because I have learned, which means I'm saving that money that we could have gone. There's so many simple things you can still do on the side that can generate more money. That is, if it will give you fulfillment. That is like what Prof said. If you are fulfilled with whatever you are doing, you'll be more happier. So if there's a side business that you can do, and then plan your time very well, you would have time for other things that can generate money for you.
Like, where is Lebene? Is she gone? Stana. She is a businesswoman. And then this dramatic, Mamiesi, where's Mamiesi? She just left. These two ladies are business women. They sell. You must add some extra work. You think it's only teaching I do? You must do some extra work to make money. Let's clap for those beautiful women. Don't only come to school, book. Every day you are carrying book. Book is good, but add some business. Sell some things and make small money. Money is good.
Okay, thank you. In fact, Prof has just taken the words out of my mouth. I'm equally a businesswoman. You see, and it will interest you. And it will interest you to know that the things I sell, sometimes my profit on it is 20 Ghana cedis. But I'm into the business. If you want the best smoke, if you want the best kente from the north, come to my house right now. If an expert is leaving today and they want an emergency something for him, in my house, you will get it. You see, so it's very important. No salary is enough for us to spend. And it is one of the reasons why most of us as students, when we come into the industry, we are misled. You want more money, your money, you think you are on national service supported by the mine, so you are taking 5,000 Ghana cedis. People are taking 20, 30. You hear of certain people's salary and it's like, hey, you want to even die. So now you begin to see that your 5 is nothing. You don't even want to mention it. So you start associating yourself with certain groups that you think might top up your salary and all that, and getting you into connections and all that. So please, let us learn to do some additional things. It will help us to get some flexible spendings on some other side. But the reason why I took the mic for the last time is on this emotional intelligence. I think Professor Kumi has said it. We need to go and read about it. Imagine being the boss and saying that you have a problem with your emotions and you know it that you have it. And you probably think because of that emotions, you are highly an emotional person. Sometimes people pride themselves with that. Emotion itself is a currency. Are you using it rightly or wrongly? Is your emotions pushing you to do more and be recognized? Be sensitive that for me, I don't want to emotionally be associated with failure. And for that matter, even if it costs me my sleep, I will sit down and read the document very well, so that tomorrow when my boss gets it, there will not be mistakes for him to speak anyhow to me or that. Is that how you are using your emotions? So please, it is a good thing to be emotional so that it will push you to get the best out of yourself. But then you should know the extent and how you have to use that in your relationship with others. And you cannot continue to ignore people. If you ignore people, I have what we call here part of the harassment. It will interest you to know that excluding a person from usual work is workplace harassment. So if your high emotions cause you to exclude the person who emotionally affects you from work, you are harassing the person. Unexplained job to a subordinate or to anybody is workplace harassment. You can't just give me the job and expect me to do it the way you want it or the best way out and that. You are harassing me. You want me to fail. And you say because you are highly emotional, I don't want to be talking to Professor Kumi. Other than that, he might annoy me and I may flare up. I have high emotions, so the best thing is to ignore him. No, you can't do that. If you are the head and you keep ignoring the people under you, on whose shoulders are you standing to become the head? So please, we need to make sure that we unlearn the things that we know that will not help us. And then we strategically find a balance between our emotions and our interpersonal relationship with people at the work site. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm the only man here. Give me the last word. You see, Miss Benyako, you must also learn to spend less on frivolous things. Most of you, yogurt will not add anything to your skin. There are some of the women, they have some things they've not used for 2 years. Do you really need them? So cut down on your expenditure. And finally, for the men, learn to buy, if only you want to marry. Not all of you want to be married. I understand that one. But for those of you who want us to marry you, he who comes with equity must come with clean hands. It is gone. Now it is gone. We are not the only ones to buy the things for the marriage. Madam said it. Buy some saucepans. Buy some things. Let us also come and join you and pick the ecolac from your house and give it back to you. That sometimes, when you do that, listen, don't get me wrong. When you do that, sometimes it gives a lot of respect in the marriage. The man cannot take you for granted. But you, matter, and I have even bought your pant. I tell you, some men, the typical Ghanaian like me, will remind you of even these tiny things when there are problems in the marriage. So spend less, save, and begin as you exit. Buy some of the things that you use in marriage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies, I think you agree with me that the panel members here love you so much. They wish they could go on and on and on and on and on. But unfortunately, we are far behind time. So we would want to draw the curtain down here and say a very big thank you to all the panel members for making time out of their busy schedules and coming to share with you things of this much importance. And I also want to say that thank you very much for staying patient and listening with your heart. And I believe that the next time we see you, we will see you putting in place everything that you have heard here, and they will be proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, you can give it up onto them again. They've done really well. So please give it up onto them as they take their stage or their seats off stage. You can do better, please. Whilst they sit down, I want to touch on some small issue, which has to do with how we address people we don't know for the first time. Our means of communication is mostly through WhatsApp and then emails. So with emails, Miss Seishi spoke about it and said we don't write emails without subjects. So we have to go and learn about those things. Another one is with WhatsApp. When you're addressing a big man, they don't have time. So you don't send him a message, hello, and then wait for him to respond before you tell him why you sent him the message. They just see the hello, they might ignore, and then for like 1 week, you'll not get your response. So if you want to get the attention of a very busy person, you go hello, you introduce yourself, then tell why you are probably contacting the person. So maybe I'm Margaret, I'm from UMaT, the person will recognize you or would probe further. So this is the little I want to say. And we would want to acknowledge the head of the counseling and support unit in our midst. Thank you for being here. And we know we weren't able to address all your issues. So you can see Ms. Sichofe at the counseling and then support system, and then also you can see the head to address most of your issues. And we couldn't have done this without your support. So I want you to give it up unto yourself for staying with us this far. As we call our treasurer, Lady Shifra, to give us the vote of thanks. Please give it up unto her as she comes.
Thank you, Madam MC. All too soon, we brought this program to a close. And I want to also say something short. It is 2 minutes. I want to say that we should also not depend on some people that we feel and know they will help us. For example, you say, oh, my uncle is in Gofu, so for this service, dear, my name is written in the book of life there. You might really be disappointed, and that can even collapse the relationship you have with that person. I prefer you say your only protocol to be God. Let's say amen to that. And we know God will never leave us nor forsake us. Thank you. We want to bless God for making this day a wonderful one. It started drizzling, and yet we are here. So we say glory to God. We also want to appreciate the UMaT management, we were privileged to even have 3 of them in our midst. They came to honor this program. They helped us in all sorts of ways. We want to appreciate them and the UMaT body in general. A lot of staff, lecturers came around to support us. We also want to thank LiMAP. LiMAP, like we said, is a group of ladies, and this program was really hosted by us. In case you would want to be a member, kindly contact our MC. She's the administrator, so that we hook you into this wonderful family. So LiMAP, thank you, the executives, the organizers, and even non-LiMAP members, that when you saw the flyer around, you decided to come and join us. We also want to appreciate the panelists. You've been wonderful, especially Prof. Kumi Boateng. We know you are no longer the Dean of Students, but when we called upon you, was it Monday, just Monday, but you came to honor and also advise your nieces and nephews. We are very grateful. We also want to appreciate Cowbank and GoFills, your presence alone, for even beautifying this whole place. Please, let's clap for them. You've been wonderful, and we want to say, may God bless you. And the help you have given us now, we pray that the next time when we call upon you, it's going to be double, triple, and even to the power 10. Amen. We also want to appreciate our media. Some came from Dynamite, others came from GoFills, and others came from a lot of places. We want to say thank you that you sat down with us from the beginning to the end. We want to appreciate the photography. Hello. We want to thank you. IT men. We want to appreciate the estate unit. They prepared the place for us. We want to appreciate the security personnel. We want to thank everybody. And lastly, you, the students, you are the most important person here. If you hadn't made it, you wouldn't have been exit in readiness. So I want you to clap for yourself. And I would like to see the final years upstanding. Please, we want to see you. We want to see you final years. Please, let's clap for them. They've done well to survive in Taka for 4 years. That's why their Thanksgiving, they say, is Tetelesta. Yeah. So you finish. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful to all of you. God bless you for your presence, for your participation, and for even accepting everything that we've given you, the water, the food, everything. We are very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, we'll take the closing remarks from our president. And after that, we would have a photo shoot session with the panelists and then everyone. So please don't leave after this.